These are my 3 audience members.
Hi, my name is Amanda Stanfield, and this is my demonstration speech. I will be demonstrating how to make apple pie apples. So, to start with, we're going to go over the ingredients. You need 6 Granny Smith apples, some ground cinnamon, a teaspoon, half a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of rum extract, a pie crust, and 2 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. So the first step in making this is to make your pie fillings. We're going to start by cutting the apple in half, and then taking that half and cutting it in half, and then taking this quarter and cutting it into thirds. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm only going to be cutting a quarter of the apple so that I can make my time, but you get the idea. So we're gonna cut this quarter, you're gonna carve out the core of the apple, and then you're gonna take these pieces and chop them into small slivers. It helps if you have a really sharp knife because you want the knife to do all the work for you. So you're gonna take your pieces of apple and you're gonna put them into a pot. And once you have all of your apple chopped, diced, sliced, and cored, you're gonna put into the pot and add your seasonings. So we're going to do a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Put that in. We're gonna do half a cup of sugar, and then half a teaspoon of rum extract. I like a little more rum. All right, and you're going to cook this on a medium heat for 20 minutes. It says 20 to 25 in the recipe, but I do 20 because I'm impatient. And again, for the purposes of this demonstration video, we're gonna pretend like that's already made. So the next step after your pie fillings is to work on getting your apple pie crust. So you wanna take apples that can sit or stand without wobbling and rolling away. So this is a good apple. You take this apple and you just lob off the top. We're gonna take a melon baller and we're gonna use the small end to core out the apple. If you have an apple core, that's great. It'll make things easier for you, but I don't have an apple core. So, melon baller, core out the apple, and discard the core pieces because nobody wants to eat those. But once you're done getting the core out, if you flip to the bigger side and you core out the rest of the apple, you can save these pieces because it can add to your filling, or you can give them to your kids like I do. But you want to leave enough of a crust so that you don't get holes in the skin of your apple, or you don't make it thin enough so that when it's baking, it bursts and explodes in the oven. So when you're done with that, you're going to end up with a really nice apple pie shell. We're going to put in our apple pie fillings. And then after we fill this guy up, we're going to add the lattice work. And now lattice work is really easy, especially if you use a pre-cut or pre-formed pie crust. You can be really Betty Crocker and make it from scratch, but I don't have time for that. So I get the pie crust from the store and I cut it into 4s because I have 4 apples, and I make sure that I have 6 strips to work with so that I can make a lattice work over my apple. So you start with this guy, put him over like that. And I find that making it over the apple is easier than if I were to make it on the cutting board and then put it on top of the apple, because then it just falls apart and all my work was for nothing. So I've got these guys here, and we're just gonna make a lattice. Really simply, oh, that guy's a little thick. We're gonna give him a little surgery. All right, so now that you have this, you're gonna take your pizza pie cutter and you're just gonna trim the edges of the pie crust. And when you're done with that, you will have an apple pie apple. And they will end up looking like this. So, your last ingredient is the melted butter. And you're gonna just take some of that and brush it on to give it that nice golden brown color. And I am famous for doing this, forgetting to preheat my oven. So you're gonna want the oven preheated at 375 degrees, and then you're going to bake these for 25 to 30 minutes. And when they're done, it's going to look like this. We like to serve ours with vanilla bean ice cream, or sprinkle some sugar on top, or you can take some caramel drizzle and drizzle that on top, and then you have an apple pie apple. Ooh, that's hot. For dessert, and we typically have these on Thanksgiving or Christmas. We like to trick ourselves into thinking this is a healthier alternative to traditional desserts, but yeah, that is how you make an apple pie apple. Thank you.